The most valuable thing you might have in your life that you really don't pay attention to, especially when you're young, because you just feel you have an abundance of it. It's never ending. Time.
I used to sit in this little apartment, and it was a room. As a matter of fact, the room was so small, I remember I was able to open up the window and close the door while sitting on the bed at the same time. It was like 8 feet by 8 feet by 9 feet. But the one thing about that room, there was really very little distraction. So I would sit there propped up in bed, and I'd go out with my big pen and legal pad and just start writing these stories. And most of them were very, very trivial. But there was something about the process of unrealized dreams. I was always brought back to this subject because I think it's one of the most enduring subjects and one of the most difficult passages for people to accept, that they never were realized in their own lifetime, that they just didn't get that shot. The more I thought about this kind of street-like character that just is totally misrepresented by the way he looks physically. Just the way he walks down the street was enough to say people, oh, dismiss him. He's kind of looks like a bully or looks like a dark kind of character. And I thought, that's an interesting character because they're always unrealized. Well, that festered in my mind for quite a while, and then eventually, after Lords of Flatbush, I decided it was a time to come to California. So I went to California, and I moved in the Valley, and things weren't going very, very well there. As a matter of fact, I had to go out and try to sell my dog because he was either do that or he just was not going to be very well fed around the house.
You ain't gonna believe this, but you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
It seems that the last Instagram post I did was very well received, and I appreciate that, because what I say I mean, and we all share certain traits, unless you're one of those very odd ones that are sociopaths. For example, I don't like to argue. I don't like stress. I don't like conflict. But sometimes you have to face the conflict and the stress and the source of that and get it out of the way. Don't keep it inside. Somehow you have to purge yourself of this thing that's eating you alive. There's different ways of doing it. Getting into someone's grill, or you start to use your head and work your way around the problem without offending anyone, but you're getting your point across. But sometimes you just have to offend someone who's offending you. That's fair. And it takes courage. Actually, it takes courage to do a lot of things. It takes a lot of guts to stay in school. It's courage. It takes courage to get up every morning, and bravery and pushing yourself when you don't want to go to work, to supply food for yourself and your family. It takes courage to stick your head above the crowd and voice your own opinion, even though it's not a popular one, but it's one that you feel so deep in your soul that you have to get it out. You can't go through life living on lies. Quite often, you just have to stand up and grab life by the throat and not let go until you succeed. Courage. You all have it. It's just pushing the red button. Keep punching. The most valuable thing you might have in your life that you really don't pay attention to, especially when you're young, because you just feel you have an abundance of it. It's never ending. Time. And as you get older, you realize time becomes your currency. When you realize there's less runway up ahead than behind, you sometimes learn that too late. So I'm telling you people that you really have to be very, very, very stingy with your time. Don't waste it on people that aren't like-minded. Don't waste it doing things that you know are not part of your dream plan. Don't waste time being bitter, which I know I've been argumentative. And I understand the meaning of hate, because in the end, it's just waste your most valuable asset, time.